Good morning, everybody. Today is August 19th. It's Thursday, 2021. My name is Nelson Brown. I go by the full Nelson Brown. I'm an author. I wrote the book called There's Gold on Top of That Mountain. It's about overcoming obstacles and challenges. I'm also a spoken word artist. I'm a life coach. I'm a CPR instructor. I do a lot of things. But I'm also a person who likes to kind of just share my thoughts and ideas about different things that come up to me. Um, Today, I want to talk about fear. I actually was watching a video. Oh, and I'm standing up. Usually I sit down. I say, you know what, I'm going to stand up today and do this. I don't know, see how it feels. But what I'm going to talk about is fear. And today, earlier, I was watching a video of a fight. Mike Tyson fought Michael Spinks. This was several years ago, maybe 10 years ago. I don't even know how many years ago. It was many years ago, probably 15 years ago. But it was interesting to watch that fight because fear was all over Michael Spinks' face before the fight even began. Go back and watch that fight. Watch the whole thing. It only lasts about 7 minutes. I'm from the time they walk into the ring, they introduce all these other people. They introduce, Muhammad Ali and even Donald Trump was in there during that time. Much younger. He wasn't president. He was just Donald Trump. But anyway, all these ring announcers are in. They're doing all the ring announcement and everything, introducing everybody. So the entire video is about 7 minutes from the very start of that to the end of the fight. That's how quick the fight was. But my point to all of this, Michael Spinks was covered in fear. If you go and watch that fight, in the beginning, he not warming up or anything like that. Mike Tyson is all over the place. He warming up. He doing all this stuff with his head and everything because Mike Tyson is preparing for this fight he's about to have. Michael Spinks, on the other hand, he's over the ring. He's not even throwing punches. He kind of just, doing this, walking around a little bit, got his head down. And you could see the fear on this man's face before the fight even began. So I'm sure if I could see it, Michael Tyson could see it, and he just knew he was going to just devour this person. And sure enough, when the bell rang, Michael Spinks may as well have been over there like, because every time Tyson sort of flinched at him, he was like, So it was funny to me watching it now. But when you see that fight, you can see that this man had fear all over him. That's why he lost that fight. Yes, Mike Tyson was, big and strong, but so was Michael Spinks. Michael Spinks had been the boxing champion prior to this match against Mike Tyson. But fear overcame that man. Whenever it was, whether it's when he was thinking about the fight, no matter what it was, that man was afraid of Mike Tyson. That's why he lost. I want to talk about fear. When you have fear in you, no matter what you're afraid of, no matter what it is, fear causes you to have doubt. Fear causes you to, kind of pull back when you have that fear. That's what defeats you, because when that fear overcomes you, when it comes into your life, when you have that doubt and that worry or that concern, that stops your momentum. And I talked about this the other day when I talked about whatever you say to yourself is true. Well, when it comes to fear, when you feel a fear, that becomes your truth and it stops your progress. Michael Spinks, when he was fighting Michael Tyson, he was so afraid, he couldn't even relax enough to throw some good punches. Because in his mind, he just felt like, and I don't know what he really felt like because I wasn't in his mind, but it appeared that he was so afraid, he probably, in my estimation, in my opinion, he probably thought that when Mike Tyson hit him, it was going to hurt so bad that he probably was going to break all his teeth and he was going to be looking like his brother Leon. I don't know what it was, but that man, whatever the thoughts he was having before that fight, they overcame him and he lost that fight. Mike Tyson saw that and he just chewed him up quickly. That was one of Mike Tyson's strengths. He would intimidate you. And that's a lot of what happens when his opponents would lose. They were already scared. And because they were scared, they couldn't get into their game what they wanted to do. So I'm saying this because the same thing happens in our lives. In our lives, we may have something that we want to do, something that we want to accomplish, something that we want to have for ourselves. However, we let that fear get in there, and that fear stops us from progressing to whatever it is we wanted to accomplish. And I want to kind of just talk about COVID right now for a few minutes. COVID has instilled this fear on our nation, on the world. And a lot of people have actually stopped living. There are plenty of people who are still living, but there are also a lot of people who have stopped living because of this fear of what could happen. Is there truth to it? Yes, there's truth to it. But there's also truth to the fact that you control a large part of your health and your destiny. We control it. So, like with me, I moved to Georgia in the middle of the pandemic last year. I quit my job. You can check that. I wasn't fired. I quit my job working for an organization in California. And I said to myself, I'm going to Georgia. I'm going to buy me a house in Georgia. And I'm going to start my life again in Georgia. I'm going to publish another book. I'm going to start doing more life coaching, health coaching, more of the CPR instructing. And I'm going to do this for my life. People were telling me, Nelson, you must be crazy to do that. It's a pandemic going on. Aren't you afraid? My answer was no. And again, because I believe I have no control over what goes on around me, but I control everything that goes on within me. I control how I feel. I control how I think. I control how I respond to outside circumstances. And you do too. You just have to believe it. You have to trust it and you have to believe it. And then you got to just walk in whatever it is you want to accomplish. By the way, this is all in my book. There's gold on top of that mountain. I'm going to say that again. You have to trust in whatever you trust in. Now, I'm not a deeply religious person, but I believe in God. And I believe that God directs all of our steps. He guides us. He helps us to be what we want to be, but we got to believe, we got to trust in that, trust in him, and then believe in that. So you trust and you believe in it, not fear it. You trust and you believe in it, then you walk in it. See, walking is the action that you take towards the purpose that you want, towards the dream that you want, towards the idea that you want, towards the business that you want, towards the health that you want, towards whatever you want. You walk. Walking is the action you take. And as you walk in it, eventually, as you keep on walking, you start to see the results of your walking. You start to see it actually beginning to come into fruition. Whatever it is you wanted to accomplish. Whatever it is. And then after you see it, then you know it. Yeah, then you know it. See, and I think this is what happens. A lot of times, people want to know things up front. They want to know how a result is going to turn out. Guess what, people? You never get to know anything up front. Nothing. Oh, you can speculate on it. You can have an image of it, like Mike Tyson or Michael Spinks. He could have thought, man, I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go toe-to-toe with this man, or I'm going to fight my fight the smart way. And I'm going to kind of just fight my fight. And as I fight my fight, I'm kind of going to just, buck and, duck and weave and kind of try to miss some punches and do all of that. And then I'm going to take my spots, my shots wherever I can. And then hopefully, my shots will hurt him enough, but I'm going to keep on coming. I'm going to keep on going. He could have had those thoughts. I'm willing to bet he didn't. I'm willing to bet he was like, whoo, I'm getting this ring with Mike Tyson. Man, he going to hit me and my jaw going to break. So I'm already preparing for my jaw to break, so I'm already off my game. He was already off. He didn't trust and he didn't believe. He was afraid. So he wasn't able to walk into his own, whatever he wanted to accomplish. He wasn't able to walk in it. And then he wasn't able to see it. And then he wasn't able to know it because he was too scared up front. Our lives are no different, whatever it is you want to accomplish. Now, we're not in the ring in a fight, but trust me, for your life, you're in a fight. Whatever you want to accomplish, you're in a fight. And guess, with that fight, it comes from struggle. Oh yeah, you may get knocked down in your fight, but you got to trust and believe, you know what, I got knocked down, but doggone it, I'm going to get back up. I'm going to get back up and I'm going to get in this fight and I'm going to keep fighting my own fight until I see the results and then I know the truth. See, and I don't want to make this video too long because I can go on and on about this. But the thing about it, I talked about fear. Fear is there to stop you no matter what. Fear is there to delay anything you want to accomplish. And it will set you back. And it doesn't really set you back. I take that back. It alters your direction. It alters what you were doing. You create the momentum towards whatever that fear is going to bring. So think about that. And I remember when I was in school, in high school, we had some bullies and stuff. There are bullies every place. Bullies would bully you because people were afraid of them. The bully would tell you he's going to beat you up. And because in the back of the person's mind, they were like, I don't want to get beat up by this bully. They were afraid of him. So if the bully came up on them and like, hey, give me your lunch money. The fear of what he could do prevents you from standing up to that bully and being bold enough. So, but what happened when the bully faces somebody that wasn't afraid of him? See, what happens then when somebody wasn't afraid of the bully? Guess what happened with the bully? The bully got scared. The bully got scared because he realized, oh, here's somebody who's not afraid of me. Now I'm afraid of them. See, and that whole fear thing takes over. So I'm trying to keep this short because I know I'm going on way too far. But this is so important in your life. That fear, you control that. You really do. Now, fear is needed in certain situations. I'm not saying not to have any kind of fear at all. I mean, if a dog is chasing you, you better have some fear to run or some fear to fight. See, fear creates a whole lot of different things going on within your body, right? The adrenaline gets to flowing, your hormones get to change. They talk about the whole fight, flight, or freeze, which is real. Fear can give you the emotions, the adrenaline to fight. Fear can give you the emotions or the adrenaline to run. And then fear can actually overtake you and cause you to freeze. That's a whole other story. But what I'm talking about is what you want to do with your life. Take fear out of it. Whatever it is you want to accomplish, take fear out of it and just keep on doing your thing. I used to tell my daughter, sometimes it's okay to feel the fear. The fear is there, but do it anyway. And as you begin to do what it is you want to do, guess what happens to that fear? It goes away. It goes away because your mind, your body, your spirit realize, oh, this person ain't afraid. Now, I don't mean to get too biblical on us. There's a reason why David defeated Goliath. Now, hear me on this for a second, and I'm done. David was able to defeat Goliath. All you biblical people, all you Bible people, even if you're not a Bible person, this story is amazing. Guess what? David wasn't afraid. David wasn't afraid. That's why he was able to beat Goliath. He wasn't afraid. Why wasn't he afraid? Because he knew he served a bigger person than Goliath. He served a bigger God. He knew that God had his back. And he had so much faith and trust in his God, he was like, how dare this, whatever he is, put down my God? How dare him? So he was like fighting for God. He was like, I ain't afraid of you because you putting down my God. So the fear factor played a part. But I'm willing to bet, standing across that stream, wherever it was, I'm willing to bet that Goliath, even though he saw David was a lot smaller than him, I'm willing to bet that Goliath had a little bit of fear because he realized this little man wasn't afraid of him. So that's my message for today. Whatever your fear is, whatever you think you're afraid of, just kind of like reconsider that. let's reappraise that and kind of think about, what am I really afraid of? And can I kind of just be bold enough, whatever it is I think I'm afraid of, to kind of just be bold enough and go for it. Bold enough to just do it no matter what. No matter what anyone else says, no matter what society is saying, no matter what the news report is saying, no matter what daddy is saying, no matter what mama is saying, no matter what your sister and brother is saying, no matter what the guy down the street is saying. Walk your race. Do your thing. Live your life and be bold enough to trust, right? Believe, walk in that trust and belief. Then you'll start to see, then you'll know you had nothing to be afraid of in all of that. Do your thing. This is Nelson Brown. My book is called There's Gold on Top of That Mountain. I'm a life coach, health coach, CPR instructor, poet, all of that, author. And I'm just giving these messages because it was given to me. I give it to you. I'm just a vessel. And I believe that. I'm a vessel. I don't do it for fortune or fame because I don't have none of that. But I'm doing it anyway. And God has directed my steps, telling me what to do, what to say, how to do it, how to say it. And I believe it, and I trust and I believe in that. And I'm walking in it. That's why I'm walking. I'm doing my thing. I'm having these little short, this has been like 16 minutes. It's doggone. This is a long one because I think it's worth it. And if you hung in there long enough to listen to this and you got something from it, hey, send me a message or, like it, share it, because this is real. What I speak, I believe is real and it's true. And it's not even about me. It's about me connecting with other people so that they can be the best version of themselves. Again, I'm Nelson Brown. I am the full Nelson Brown. Thank you and have a great day. Right.